And my board for working on serial project. And keep some extra bags handy so when I'm done I can cover my project. Because generally you want to work in a couple of stages, letting it dry out and refining your details after it gets to leather hard. So with my square of clay, I'm going to split it into quarters and see how this goes. Except I don't think my needle tool is quite long enough. That one's too short too. Oh, the beauty and simplicity of a paper clip. Oh, it's like butter. So split it into even quarters. That way I've got clay left over for the base and the body. No, oops. I'll keep that covered while I'm not working with it so that it doesn't dry out too much. And then shape 2 about equal sized balls of clay. Just mash that bad boy up. And for these pinch pods, the ball I'm working with is just a little bit bigger than a golf ball, I guess. But I think that'll be plenty big. Could probably even go smaller. Yeah, so maybe I'll pinch a grape-sized chunk off of each of those. This one's a bit bigger. I guess as you're shaping the ball, you get a better idea of how close they are in size. So from your ball of clay, push down in the middle. And you want to pinch from the bottom to the top. Just like started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now the whole pinch pot is here. And just pinch and turn. And so you can kind of even out your walls. Be careful not to get any spots that are too thin. Remember, you want to keep your clay about 1/4 of an inch thick, or about as thick as a finger. You can definitely make it thinner, but that's when it starts to get fragile, and then it doesn't leave you any clay left over to kind of sculpt and carve into. And anything thicker than a 1/2 inch is going to take a real long time to dry out. So like a finger width, 1/4 of an inch, it's like the sweet spot. Because then you can carve away, it'll get a little bit thinner. Okay. I've got like a couple pinch pots. Size of the rims, they're about the same size. That's good. And oh yeah. clean off the tool. So instead of this janky paper clip, I used a fancy needle tool I made out of the paper clip and colored pencil. And tap that bottom edge, you can flatten it out a little bit. And then score before you connect it. I've seen people do like a taper on the inside so the pinch pods kind of plug into each other, but when I learned, just tapped out a flat surface. That gives you a good amount of surface area for the pots to attach to. All right. I just keep brushes at my desk. So I'll use that to dab up. And I didn't have any slip mix for this clay body that I'm using. So I just scored extra good. And I'm using some water. But push it together. And the last thing you want to do is smooth the two halves together. You can do this with a modeling tool. Your fingers will probably work just as good though. Yeah, so I guess like a quarters of that chunk of clay is enough to get you a pretty good pinch pod. So I'm going to use another quarter, I guess, of that chunk of clay to make the body. And I'm just going to use a pinch pod flipped to make the basic form for the body. Ooh. Nice. All right. So I've got my base, the head shape that'll sit on top, and see if I can flatten that out a little bit. Oh, these are great proportions. So then using a stopper to connect them, you just need to cut a hole the stopper will sit into. And then, shoot. I'm going to use the same piece I cut out. To make the stopper. And since you guys are going to have to take off for 5th hour here, this is a good time to pause your work and bag everything up. So, still got a little bit of extra clay left to sculpt out the rest of my face, but I got the basic forms down. So you want to mold your forms up and then carve out your details. Throw those in there. Push some of the air out. If your clay feels like it's getting really dry, you can take a little water and spritz that in your bag too. Or if you've got a spray bottle, you can spritz it before putting it away. I think I need to refill my spray bottle, but that's okay. This clay is still really plastic. So squeeze out your air, and if you got a freezer bag, you can zip it up. Or if you just got a shopping bag, tie that bad boy up. And clay tools, clay tool bag.